I stopped by there. I can see there was a big hall with a big fan over there. People were sleeping over there, and I stood there and I was thinking, what the hell I have done with my life. I was so stuck as to what to do because I was not left with enough money. I tried calling a couple of friends for help. No one could help me. Uh, so I was almost in a verge of kind of I was just thinking there is no way forward after this, and I was almost kind of thinking that this is the end of it. I should just jump in front of the trainer. I should just die, right? That was my thought at that moment. But the only thing that kept me motivated and just take up the challenge was because
Hey everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the OPES Show. I'm so glad that you guys decided to tune into this one because the story that you're going to hear in the next few minutes is truly going to inspire you. Ordinary people, extraordinary stories. This story is exactly what this podcast is all about. So, without any further ado, I would like to invite the guest for today's show, the Vice President of Sales at Whitehat Jr., Thomas Lagashu. So thanks a lot, Thomas, for coming onto this show. I know that you have a very busy schedule and it took a lot of to and fro before we actually had you on the show. So thanks a lot for coming here.
thank you so much, Nishan, for inviting me for this show, right? Giving me an opportunity to talk in front of so many audience, right? I'm sure you've got a lot of audience now. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much.
So, well, I would actually like to tell you the first time when I heard about you and when I heard of your story was when I joined Whitehat Jr. And, we had your session. I guess there were like 500 to 600 odd people who had joined. And I think it was about an hour or 2 hours. And you just, without any filter, just heart to heart conversation of your entire story. And I'd never heard something like that. So when I started this podcast, I just knew that I had to have you onto the show, and I'm just glad that this moment has come. And so, like, just without any further ado, I just want to like start with your story. So if you could just tell us why you decided to move into Mumbai in the first place.
So, I mean, if I'm going, I have to just summarize, right? Not the entire story
Sure.
because it's going to take a lot of time. So, probably my own mistakes in my past. Basically, I was quite careless about financial stuff, right? So, I used to kind of spend too much into luxurious stuff, buying iPhones, buying big television, and all. Yeah, right. And I had a relationship as well, wanted to live life to the fullest and never used to save, would like to impress her, keep her happy and all this stuff. I was like completely satisfied with my life, right? Living life on a day-to-day basis. And slowly and gradually, it was all my bad decisions. I got into a lot of monetary troubles, basically. I got into a lot of debts. It was time when I realized that I almost got into almost 16 lakh loan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it gotten even worse when I lost job and I was not able to pay EMIs on time, and collection companies coming in, calling me, harassing people, right? Harassing my friends, family, and my friends started blocking me, right? My family parted ways with me, and eventually my girlfriend also was quite frustrated, and because of all this, right? I mean, it was definitely not her fault, but it was all my bad decisions led to all this, and at the end, I lost everything: my relationship, my uh, job, parents, everything parted ways with me, right? So uh, I was kind of, it was back in Delhi, 2018, right? And I was almost kind of getting into depression actually. But there were two of my friends, like we boys are lucky, probably. I don't know, but girls at least. I don't want to offend anybody,
Yeah.
but probably two of my best friends, Kishore and Satya, took care of me, helped me to come out of this entire coma kind of thing, right? And they motivated me that this is not the end of the world. You can do it. You can do it. And so eventually, I started looking for options how I can make more and more money as soon as possible to pay off all the debts and I can come out of all these troubles, right? Because
Yeah.
they were
And how
harassing
old
and
were
there.
you when you were
I
around this time?
uh, 32 and a half, you can say,
Okay.
in the middle
Okay.
of 32 and 33,
All
right?
right. Okay.
Uh, so yeah, so that's when in those days, I tell you what has happened is I used to see a lot of these motivation. So these bloggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in those days, even now, I guess the bloggers make a lot of money, right? So I came across a blogger in a blogger named Pritam Nagrale sir, and he's one of a very successful blogger in India. And I kind of fond of BMW car. I told you in the story
Yeah.
when you guys joined, right? So I'm kind of fond of BMW cars, and when I saw his post that with blogging he bought a BMW car, I got attracted. I decided that I want to learn blogging now because this is the only way out to my all these troubles. I contacted him and through Facebook, and luckily he agreed. And I took up a job with him free of charge. I told him I'll manage my finances, everything, stay and everything. Just give me a job for free, and in return, just teach me blogging, and I'll work for free for you. And he agreed. And he asked me, when are you joining? I said most probably by the end of the month because I'll have to shift out of Delhi. He said, what? You're coming from Delhi to Mumbai to work for free? I said, yeah, I have to take this step because this is the only way out. I want to do it. I'm passionate. I want to be successful like you. It was 31st of December 2018. I shifted to Mumbai just to learn blogging. And for a month, I worked with him and I tried to learn a lot. But for some reason, it didn't work out because I also had a part-time job at night, which was covering my all the finances and everything. And slowly and gradually, what has happened is the night shift job, the part-time job, I was working for a US guy. I was doing customer service for him. He shut down. He decided to move on. Shut down the business. He called me up and said that Thomas, I'm so sorry. I'm unable to afford your salary that I'm paying right now. You'll have to find another job. I'll connect back to you when I resume the business. For now, I'm putting a hold to our business. So that's when our entire trouble came in. I might have still continued the blogging learning, but it gotten even worse because I was not able to pay for my stay, pay for my food. I still remember the initial days in Mumbai. I was left with 200 bucks in my pocket and I didn't know what to do with that 200. Should I buy food? I was so hungry. I wanted to get into a restaurant and want to buy some fried rice or something that feel good to eat. But the only thing that I could afford at that time was one vada pav a day. I literally lived for almost 2 weeks with one vada pav a day.
A
I'm fond of
day.
vada pav. Yes,
Okay.
yes, and that was my
Yeah.
lunch and dinner. And many of I'm not sure you might remember it. Because of no money, I was also kicked out of the dormitory that I was living because I had no
Yes.
money to
Can
pay
you tell
anyone.
us about that story too? Yeah.
So I initially, it's right next to Goregaon station. There is a dormitory called Sai Lila Dormitory.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who works by there, they will get to see. There's a Sai Veg World right next to Sai Veg World. There is a dormitory called Sai Lila Dormitory, right? And they would charge you 500 bucks every day. And I was not left with enough money, and I was living there, and I need to pay on a daily basis over there. Now I'm left with only 200 bucks. I bought vada pav, and then so I was hardly left with 140 bucks or something.
Hmm.
I was totally stuck as to what to do, how to go back to dormitory because I'll have to pay 500 bucks over there. So
Yeah.
uh, while I was working with Pritam sir, by the end of the day, I was walking around. I was just wasting time to see what can I do, what can I do. Uh, there's a mall called Inorbit Mall, Malad,
Mm-hmm.
Mumbai, right?
Yeah.
So I spent near to Starbucks using their free Wi-Fi, looking for opportunity, looking for a job because I needed to find a job as soon as possible to survive in Mumbai, right? And at night, I guess 12:30, they normally shut the mall and they ask you to leave, right? So I was coming back from mall towards the dormitory in between Malad and to the Goregaon station, right? Goregaon, that dormitory.
Yeah.
You need to cross the railway station. So I climbed up the station ladder, right, and steps upwards. So I stopped by there. I can see there was a big hall with a big fan over there. People were sleeping over there, and I stood there and I was thinking, what the hell I have done with my life? I was so stuck as to what to do because I was not left with enough money. I tried calling a couple of friends for help. No one could help me. Uh, so I was almost in a verge of kind of I was just thinking there is no way forward after this, and I was almost kind of thinking that this is the end of it. I should just jump in front of a trainer. I should just die, right? That was my thought at that moment. But the only thing that kept me motivated and just take up the challenge was because I was worried about my mom and dad because these loan companies would have reached out to my mom and dad and would have troubled them. And I just thought, what else can happen? Let's see. So that day I didn't went back to dormitory, and what I had I've done is I slept along with those other people who were sleeping in the railway station in the same hall. It's right above the Goregaon railway station. There's a big hall with a fan. So I spent 3 nights over there actually because of no money. And one fine day, I got a interview call that I had to visit, I had to attend, and I needed to change because for 3 days I was wearing the same clothes. No, I didn't brush, I didn't took shower. And so what I decided is the only way is early morning at 4 o'clock, when go back to the dormitory, and when everyone would be sleeping, you can just go back and change and come back, right? That was my plan. Early morning at 4 o'clock, I went back to dormitory, but to my surprise, uh, there was a bus right next to the dormitory. People
Mm-hmm.
were getting down, and at the reception, they were signing in. And I thought, what is this? I mean, why there is so much of crowd at the reception? But I took the side of the crowd, and I slightly went inside, and I thought of change, but I could see that the bed which I was allotted was already taken over by somebody else. And I asked the bellboy that, where is my bed? Where is my stuff? So he said that, sir, I'm so sorry. The entire dormitory is sold out tonight. We were trying to reach you, but you were not answering. And I was deliberately not answering because I did not have the money, right? To
Mm-hmm.
so I went down to the reception asking that what happened to my bed. What am I supposed to do now? So the guy said that, no worries, sir. You can find another dormitory nearby. You just clear up the bill and you'll have to shift out because the entire dormitory is booked out by a corporate, right? I was so stuck. I didn't know what to do because I had no money to pay him. I tried convincing him to say that, give me time till Monday. I'll arrange the money because right now I'm short of funds. The guy would say that if you don't have money, you should not have stayed over here, right? Where do you work? I said, I work nearby. Why don't you call and get the money? So it was early morning at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock it was happening, and it was so embarrassing right in front of so many people. He was talking to me like that. So finally, out of no choice, I had to call Pritam sir, and Pritam sir was the one who helped me with a little bit of money. He paid off the dormitory bill, and he helped me coming out of it. And it was kind of kicked out because of no money. And he
Mm-hmm.
asked me, "What is the problem? Why are you in such trouble? You don't have money for living as well, and you came to Mumbai to work for free. What's the matter?"
Yeah.
So I explained. I told him the entire story that I am into so much of debt, 16 lakh loan. I am been harassed. My friends and family are been harassed by collection companies, by the banks and all for money. So that is the reason I want to learn blogging so that I can make fast money and pay off all my debts, right? So
Mm.
that's when he gave me $1 million advice that, son, you're doing a wrong thing. Uh, you know, Blogging is not something a quick money. Blogging is something that will take at least 7 to 8 years to be successful, right? And you're not going to make any money until then. So the best advice right now would be find a job as per your past experience. Like you have come from customer service. I have an experience in customer service. I
Mm.
work with WNS and Converges. So he said that you should find a job in a call center first, get yourself stabilized with a food and living, and then come to me. I'll teach you blogging free, even without you working for me, right? So that is when he gave me 1,500 bucks as a pocket money and asked me to find a job. And that's when I was desperately looking for a job. And I came across an email from Whitehat Jr. saying that we're looking for a technical support representative. We would like to schedule an interview. And from the rest is history, right? I
Yeah.
joined Whitehat. Today, the Whitehead it has become a big name.
Yeah.
But
But
initially, it was just a small startup with 8 people around, right, with 2 rooms, and we were Chromium, right? So yeah,
hmm.
that's
So you
about
have
it. So
joined White Hat at like the very initial stage, when how long it must hardly be a few months before it must have started when you joined White Hat, right?
that's right. So Karan sir and 7 of his members, they
Hmm.
started from Juhu Banglo, from a rooftop. It was back in November, 2019. They started November 2018, and March 2019 I joined, and I was the 17th person to join this company.
Okay, that's very early because now it has like thousands and thousands of employees.
It's now 12,000 employees. Yes,
Okay.
it has become quite big, quite big. Yes,
Hmm.
I still remember those days when Karan sir himself used to take interviews. Karan sir himself used to help in learning Excel, sales, training, and everything was taken care of by him. I mean, it was so fascinating working with him because I didn't know who's Karan Bajaj is initially, to be honest, right? When I joined, I heard a lot that Karan Bajaj, ex-CEO of Discovery, but I didn't know who is the ex-CEO of Discovery. I had no interest in as such, but later on I did a little bit of research. I have heard his speech in Google and about the entire journey and all, right? So I was amazed, and I was very excited working with him so closely. And at that time, it was all about give everything of you. So when I started, it was like I started with 20,000 salary and as a technical support representative at Whitehat, right? So at that moment, whatever comes my way, I would have accepted the job because I had no choice but to accept the job, right? I had a very good experience in the past. I had a very good salary in the past, but right now at this point of time, like I was not getting any job very quickly, very right away. So the only job I could get was Whitehead, and I just grabbed it and I just have went ahead for it because I just needed to stabilize my life. And honestly, the plan was not a long term, but it became a
Long-term
long
plan.
term now. Right?
And you
So
started as a technical support
yeah.
executive in Whitehat, and then you moved into sales. And that's a very interesting story too of how you moved from technical support to sales. So if you would like to tell us
So
how you did that.
yeah, I'll tell you something, right? I just people say that I got lucky. I
Yeah.
mean, say to many of them that I got lucky that I was at the right place at the right time.
Hmm.
So I wonder how is it possible that because at the same time there were other people who were at the right place at the right time and still living the same executive life, and I'm a VP today, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I mean, when they would have been lucky, the only difference was that I outworked them. The how it has happened because there were already four people in the technical team, right? And the way they used to work was like they would come in at 9:30 in the morning. They would start calling, and by evening 6 o'clock they would wrap up. Right? It was like such a chill job, and I loved this. But since I had no other work, I always used to extend and do wait for customers as per customers' timing because most of the time, because technical supports, a technical guy's job was to, do a technical check in customer's computer to see
Hmm.
whether the class is viewable online or not. And for that, most of the time, customer would expect you to call in the evening because they have most of the free time in the morning, in the evening, right? So,
Yeah.
which is why it got. I mean, people used to leave by 6 o'clock. I used to extend till 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I sit with customers and I sort everything out. So eventually, people used to hate me for working extra in those days. They used to criticize me a lot, saying that because of you, the current sir expect us as well to extend shift and all. But for me, I had no other work because other people have their own personal stuff probably. But I am alone in Mumbai. I have nothing to do. So what I used to do is I used to extend my shift
Hmm. Hmm.
after 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I used to get more connect with customer because most of the customers are available in the evening. So
Hmm.
I had that advantage, and I started taking that advantage. I would extend my shift. I work more hours, and eventually by the end of the month, what has happened is those four people in the entire month would do only 85 technical setup, and in half the month, I have alone done 200 technical setup. Right.
Okay.
So that was the big jump, and immediately after a month I became the team leader for them for the technical support, and from there on I it was just upward. I started taking care of the technical team. I started taking care of customer services. I did well. Then I started taking out training and development manager, and suddenly one fine day the entire board members, Karan sir and other people, has decided that we should try Thomas in sales as well. I was
Hmm. Hmm.
literally scared, but I realized that salespeople makes the most of the money, and nothing could be better than that to make money and pay off all my debt. So I accepted that sales role, and from there on, I mean, everything turned. I mean, my entire life changed after I was moved into sales, basically.
Paul, we are going to promote
Basically.
Okay, that's very interesting. Do you consider yourself as a natural born salesman?
I would say customer service people can actually do sales,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And in fact, sales is something you anyways always do, right? uh, so anything that you go for interview, you're selling yourself so that you get paid by the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything is sales any which ways. It's just that it's not classified as sales. But if you actually look at every day when you go to work, you're selling yourself to get paid, right? Whatever you do, at the end you're doing for money, right? At the end
Yeah.
you're doing it for earning. So everything is sales. But yes, if I have to talk about as a role, uh, no, I don't think I was born with this quality of selling, but I learned it. When I say learned it, it's just that you need to understand the customer, understand the customer's need, help the customer. It should not be like selling. It should be like you're solving a problem for the customer and showing that how exactly this particular product will change your life is what is sales, right? When I started sales, initially it was all about making more and more calls, spending more hours. So people do say that you need to do smart work, you should not do hard work. But for me, it has always the hard work that has supported me till date, because I was never a smart guy. I'm not a talented guy, right? So what has helped me is reaching out more and more opportunities than other people, and maximum reach out, maximum opportunity, maximum sales. Simple. That's how I've learned. And it was self-learning when I was in customer service initially with Whitehat. So I learned the product so much that when customer asked me a question, I was able to relate, and I was able to explain the customer better and make it relevant for the child or for the customer, and was able to show the bigger parts with our product. And that's how I used to sell. And from there on, I started hitting record after record. And in now I could see where. I would say no, I was never born. I was never born with that quality, but I've learned. Everything can be learned actually in life, I would say.
All right. So just a matter of deciding what it is that you want to excel at and trying to
Absolutely.
learn that.
Many people say that you should do what you love. I'm not against it. You should always do what you love. But in order to do what you love, you need some backup of money. And that would
Hmm.
eventually come from a job which you don't love. So it's not always about doing what you love. It's about doing whatever it takes, right? Stabilize yourself, save some money for that to start your own business or what you love, whatever you want to do. But initially you will have to start from a job. So I'm never against a job, and you should respect any work that you have, because you don't know the life that you're living. There are people struggling to live your life. So you should always be respectful for whatever you have, right? That's what I would say.
That's very well said. Uh, why do you think sales is so looked down upon in India?
I'll tell you something, a very good example. So I'm from Northeast Assam, okay?
Hmm.
And in Assam, it's a mindset that if you do not have a government job, you're not doing anything. It's useless.
Hmm.
So when I used to call back home, when I used to speak to my mom used to tell, when back then when I used to work for call centers, right? Now let me tell you, call center. I do not want to demean call center, because call centers has made many people's life. I
Hmm.
was able to start my career from call center, and I've survived with call center. I made a lot of money, good money, right? But the mentality of our Assam out there is that if you're working in a private company, it means like factory workers. That's what kind of a mentality. So now I'll tell you, sales is something that can make you more money than even a Bollywood celebrity, I would say, if you're good in sales. And this
Hmm.
one particular role, this sales is something that is open everywhere. You'll always have job opportunities for sales, because every company runs through sale, right? In a
Right.
company, what happens? We have so much of salaries to be paid, infrastructure fee, technology fee, blah, 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 all the investment on one side. And the moment you put the sales on the other side, everything gets balanced,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
You're right.
sales is one of the most important function, and ops for any company, right? It's a part of, it's the heart of any company, right? But why people look down upon is, the moment you walk into a big bazaar shop or a shopping mall, there's a
Hmm.
guy coming towards you saying that, hi sir, can I help you with?
Hmm.
So I don't know why people look down upon thinking that sales guy
Yeah.
like a cheap job. That's what they feel. But think of those people who do not even have that opportunity, and sleeping on the road, selling vegetables. Or I'm not trying to demean those people, but think of them if they get an opportunity to work in a shopping mall as a sales guy. And think of that sales guy, if he's able to convince people to buy a particular t-shirt 10 times in a day, how much incentive he can make, right? But
Yeah.
people do not understand. People just look down upon that way in India specifically, because we have grown from a mindset wherein we would only look towards doctor or engineer. Our parents would always prefer, I mean, it's not my parents' fault, it's not anybody's fault, it's because our times were like that. The doctors and engineer used to be a glamorous career and make a lot of money, and rest no one would make money, right? That's what the culture we grew from. But nowadays, I mean, India has developed a lot. I see a lot of parents coming up, letting their child explore different other careers apart from doctor and engineer. But sales role is still looked down upon. The moment I would say that I work for sales, people will look down upon, right? uh, yeah, I mean, that is there, but they don't know at the end, if you are good in sales, you can actually make more money than this engineer or doctor if you are good, right? And every company would like to share a portion of their profit with you if you're a good salesperson and bringing more revenue for the company. So I would say sales is the best role. It teaches you how to live life. Life will never be fair. Maybe after 10 rejections, you get one yes. So that's how sales is. I love sales now.
What does it take for one to be good at sales? Like how, like if I am evaluating myself and seeing whether sales is the career for me, what is it that I should be looking at to know that whether this is a career for me or whether I should choose something else?
Sales is something that anybody can do, provided you believe in the product first. You need to know in and out of the product first
Mm-hmm.
and understand. And if you're aligned with the product, you can sell it for sure. Like your show, OPES Show,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You know that what you do. You're not faking anything over here,
Yeah.
right? You present those ordinary people with extraordinary stories, right? You know that your product. If tomorrow somebody says that you bring in all fake stories, what will you say? You'll start fighting for it, trying to
Absolutely.
prove that no. So that is called conviction. And if you have that conviction and believe in your product, you're a good salesperson. You'll
All
kill
right.
it.
So that's what you need. It's not the
That's all
speaking
you need. You just
skills.
need to
All
know.
right.
Exactly. And it's just that you need to, again, you need to listen to the customer and talk less, right? You need to understand what exactly customer trying to ask you and give a relevant answer, and prepare your answer in a way so that, you're able to give a logical answer to the customer and make it, it's adding a value to the customer's life, right? So like your show today, what you're doing with your show, you're trying to inspire those people who are sitting and thinking that my luck is bad. Probably by seeing these videos, probably they will get inspired and they'll try fighting their life out to be at a better life position, right? so
Mm-hmm.
so if you are able to sell it, if you're able to convince people and with conviction, because you know your product better, you're a good salesperson.
So as long as you have full conviction and belief in the product, you can sell it, and anybody can
It should
sell
not
it
be
if
like
he has.
it should not be it should not be I'm a sales guy and I'm given a product. I'll just read through the entire pitch or entire product details and I say, hi sir, are you looking to buy a washing machine or something? No one will buy. You need to understand what kind of washing machine you have right now and what are the features. What if in case my thing saves more electricity or maybe have better automatic feature and all. You need to create
Mm-hmm.
that need and make life easy. If the product is making the customer's life easy, customer will go for it. No customer want to get sold, right? No one want to get sold. You
Yeah.
need to create a need. You need to make them feel like you're solving a problem. That's it.
All right. So find the need of the customer and see how your product fits that need, and you have made a sale.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one thing that you said long time back in one of the sessions where you said that I do not need an MBA. Karan sir is my MBA, and that was very fascinating for me because obviously you've been in a company as the 17th member, right? You were really
Yeah.
early into the company, and you've seen it grow. So there's so much of knowledge that you've gained just being around Karan Bajaj, just being around the executive members, and not only just learning sales but learning how the company goes. So what are the stuff, if you could tell us, what is some key things that you've learned being around these people that I don't think others who haven't sat in the same room as you would never get to learn?
So I mean, Karan sir is a big, tall guy. All right, I'm half of him, his height. He's
Yeah.
an amazing personality, right? Amazing. I mean, he has that kind of an aura, that kind of an charisma when he walks in, the way he talks. And he's a different kind of a CEO. He's not a typical CEO wherein you'll just call in everyone and give orders and get things done. He's not like that, right? He comes from good background, he comes from good learning, right? Good experience. And what I learned from him is he would consider every person, I mean, the smallest role in the company, he would not hesitate to take advice from that guy, right? In the initial days, he would just call in everyone into his room and say that this is the problem. What's your advice to it? Thomas, you tell me what are we supposed to do for this? Rahul, you tell me. Sini, what do you say about it? Right? That is how he take advice, take everyone's advice, and we collectively take a decision. He's not kind of I'm the boss, I'm always right. No, it's not like that. He'll listen to everyone and come to a one final decision and implement quick. He is kind of a person, quick decision maker. So I guess this is one of the quality in every leader, every CEO, right, across the globe, that they're quick decision maker. So kind of a person he is, like he'll first implement and later on he'll think, was it right or wrong? If it was wrong, move on. If it's right, let's implement and let's make it better and better. So these are things that I've learned, and he does not behave like a CEO, right? He'll walk around the entire floor. He'll ask everyone, how's everything going? How's the sales going? Can I teach you something, right? I have seen literally him transferring, salaries to people through IMPS. He would teach Excel to HR, how to maintain accountings and everything. He was already successful before even Whitehat was started. So he could have lived a excellent life with the kind of an investments that he have, the kind of money he have already, right, in those days. But he have started from zero. He himself learned many things. He have learned from others. He have taught people how to decide things, what to implement. This is going to be better and everything. So he has always been part of the ground level, and that's how we grew. And it's amazing to work with him. I've learned a lot from him. The way he talked, the way he presents stuff, the way he deal with situations, right? I learned a lot, and this is kind of an MBA. Because why I would say in Whitehat, there was another reason why I said you don't need an MBA degree or some glamorous degree, IIT Mumbai or IIM Bangalore, like that. In Whitehat, we do not judge you with the kind of expertise that you have gotten, with the kind of a learning or education or qualification you have. A basic graduate is enough for us. What matters to us is what value you have brought in this company. Being part of sales, are you able to drive more revenue? Are you able to bring more learnings? Are you able to make life better for people? Are you able to make customer experience better? So what matters to us is, what is your performance over here? We've managed to drive a high performing organization wherein you get extremely highly rewarded for your performance, right? So he's kind of a guy, he have never done any favoritism, no politics, nothing. It's only and only your performance will talk. If you're a performer, you go heights in Whitehat, right? A guy like me, a basic graduate, right, could never think of becoming a VP in 2 years. In fact, in my life, probably, right? In order to become a VP or a director in any other typical company, you would need at least 10 to 20 years of experience at the same level, right? You need to have those big degrees, those glamorous degrees, which I don't have, right? But we have managed to create a company wherein all we see is what value you have added to the company's growth. Simple. And you keep growing to the next level, right? So that has helped me, because I struggled a lot in my past, because there are the companies that I've worked with, they were already so grown, right? Already developed, and there were already so many hierarchies and processes to be followed. But here we've managed to create a culture right from scratch, wherein we have always appreciated performance. And if you're a performer, you get everything. And the best part is that people might call me lucky, but there are hundreds of lucky people in Whitehat, right? That's the best part. So it's not just Thomas Lagashu. There are so many people who have been successful, who have bought houses in 6 months, who has become director in 6 months, who have become team leader in 3 months, which normally in a typical company, it would take 3 to 5 years to become an operations manager. Over here, you can become an operation manager in 6 months. It's only and only your performance and what idea you are bringing in to add value to the company, to make the company grow faster. Right. So yeah, that's what
I get that. Yes. I see a very stark difference between, I'm taking you back to the when you were a technical executive at Whitehat, and you had the other employees, and then there was you, and there was the mindset that you had. Okay, that was this big differentiator that made you then move up in the ladder at a company. So what is that mindset? I just want to dive deeper into that. What is it, that X factor that takes somebody upwards, whereas the other people stay where they are?
I'll tell you the difference between me and those guys. All I would say is until then, until I got that opportunity, until that burning factor come in, right? It is just like examination, right? If you're preparing for an examination, a person preparing for the examination for 3 4 months would always rank higher than a person who is preparing a night before, right? What I learned is like I was also reluctant and so chill out with my life until I got into trouble, right? Until I got to know that you need to save money, invest money so that the future you don't get into any such troubles, right? I was so luxurious, I was so careless about finance and everything. I was just living life. I was earning, I was spending, I was earning, I was spending, and eventually the time has come that life is never fair. Eventually you fall, right? And that is exactly what has happened. So what I would say to all whomsoever is watching right now, don't take life for granted, and don't go easy. Life has a lot to offer you. Don't get comfortable with what you are, wherever you are right now. Basically, if you're in early 20s, I would say this is the best time you should explore around different jobs, right? Startups is the best place to learn and to get an MBA practically. And I always wanted to be part of a startup from growing from a scratch, because uh, you don't get much of an opportunity in big, well-settled organizations to explore yourself. They judge you with their parameters and whatever expertise you have. But in a startup, it's all you. You have to be the owner and take care of everything and solve it and prove yourself. So I would encourage everyone to try in a startup to learn more and to be able to showcase your talent, because it's a small startup, right? When you start, it's a small group, and you can showcase your talent, you can showcase your hard work, and probably you will excel better than people who are spending just 8 hours at work daily, living a chill life. I would say don't live a mediocre life. The life has a lot to offer, right? If there is a BMW car, why to live with Maruti Suzuki? I'm not trying to demean Maruti Suzuki, but there is a BMW car, there's an Audi for us only. The only difference is that we cannot afford or we can afford. And in order to make ourselves afford, it's in our hands. So you need to explore around opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities, and just work your ass off. That's all I would say. Don't live the 9 to 5 life, because eventually if you do the same thing, you'll get the same thing. You need to do something different or extra to get something extra in life, right? That's all I would say. I'm not against work-life balance, right? I always encourage you should always balance out, but at the same time, in life, if you want to achieve something, just like you want to get into engineering, you need to prepare for it. You need to spend more time, more hours in studying, right? Similarly, if you want a good relationship, you need to spend more time with your partner, right? So similarly, if you want to be successful in your work, in your business, you need to fall in love with your work. You need to do whatever it takes, right? uh, no one can be successful without being your first love as your work, right? That's what I would say, right? So the difference between me and the other people, where they are okay with that life, 9 to 5, living chill life, a balanced life, and living with that whatever they have. I would say even if you're rich enough, I would say become more richer when you have that opportunity. What's wrong in it? There's no harm in going into a 5-star hotel and having dinner if you can afford it. There's no harm in getting into 5 BHK if you can afford it. There's no harm in driving a BMW if you can afford it. But that affordability comes from us. We need to make ourselves capable of affording that. Today, if Ambani goes and want to buy in Orbit Mall, it's a peanut for him, right? Why would somebody question him? He can afford it. No one is going to question him. So that is exactly what you need to make yourself, right? So that's all I would want to say. Uh, don't get comfortable with wherever you are. Explore around and get to the next level, because probably with that extra money, probably you can buy that from 3 BHK, you can move into 5 BHK. Probably from Suzuki, you can get into a Audi, or probably you can go for a world tour or something. What's wrong in, because there's one life, enjoy, right? And for that you need that money, and for that money you need to grow in career. Simple.
Well, that's a very good insight into your mindset. Just by just the way you were talking, we could understand what kind of mindset it takes.
See,
That's
At that time, what made me get into this zone was because I had that talwar, right? I had that sword on my neck that you need to pay back. I needed a job desperately, and I could see that I can earn some extra incentive, and I needed to grow faster because I started from 20,000 salary, and 20,000 salary is nothing to pay back debts, right? So I needed to grow faster. I needed to. I was so into work. I really wanted to get to next level, right? Grow faster, and I could see those opportunities because people loved the product, our product, and I could see that opportunity if we can do well, and I gave all of mine, and today I'm here. Simple.
What advice would you have for Thomas who was just entering Mumbai thinking he's gonna learn blogging and get that BMW and all that? What is that? What is it that you've learned now that you didn't know back then?
What I learned is, so it's not about what you love. Basically, that's I already mentioned. It's not about what you love. So basically, I fallen in love with blogging. I thought that would work out, but eventually, whatever came my way, I just got into it. Many people say that, I want to do this, but I was moved from this, and even right now, even in within my company itself, when a guy is moved from one process to other, they get very upset, right? What I would say is, what you need to do is, get accommodated to any new thing comes, get comfortable with it, learn it, and excel there. Don't be so choosy and stick to any particular thing, because then you'll not grow. What I've learned is, whatever comes your way, take it up, move on, take it up, learn, and excel. That's it, simple. Because if I would have stick to the technical support today, I would not have been a VP for sales, right? So from there, I work hard. I was moved to customer service. I work hard. I top the chart. I was moved to training and development. I was doing well. Then I was tested in sales, and I did well in sales as well. I never knew that I could do well in sales, but eventually I was the top performer in sales, and I was the first sales director of Whitehat, right? At that point of time, right? So whatever comes your way, just take it up, and don't be so choosy. It's good to find love in your work, find a passion, and all this stuff. It's good to hear, and you're fortunate if you're able to work into something that you love. But but you should not get upset because you're not doing something. See, I have done engineering, but I'm not an engineer today, right? So I would say, just like Dhoni. Dhoni was a footballer earlier before he knew that he was good in cricket. Right. So similarly, so I would just say that, don't feel sad about that you didn't get the job that you like, or if you're stuck in life, figure out, try different opportunities. You never know which door will become big for you, right? That's all I would say. Just take it up and give your best. Don't become the same regular other employees. Do something extra, bring in some values, and you'll be moving up the ladder, and you'll always see differently for yourself than others, right? That's all I would say.
All right. Okay, I'll take the conversation completely left field because I have a very interesting question. You are extremely motivating, and I know for a fact that you also do follow a lot of these people who do tend to motivate online. So, who is your go-to person? Who is somebody whose thought process really aligns with you?
If I have to talk about somebody whom I don't know if in life I would get to meet, Elon Musk, right?
Obviously, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I kind of like his idea of, people might say that in Hindi, people say that don't do gadha mazduri, right? But probably he's done it. That's why he's a billionaire. He's about to become a trillionaire now, right? So that's why he's amazing. He's genius. And yeah, I mean, some people's mindset are different. So he always say one thing, that even if you are not talented, and even if you have to do the same thing every day, and let's suppose a guy is spending 8 hours for 5 days a week, right? And you are spending 10 hours for 5 days a week, right? I mean, you're spending 2 hours more than that guy, right? Then you know that you'll be ending up achieving that particular goal a day faster than the guy spending 8 hours.
Yeah.
Right. I love this ideology, right? Karan sir always have taught us one thing, that we will create an organization wherein, if you're ready, it's a choice. If you want to be part of it, of this high intensity work culture, right? Compress 10 years of, right? 10 years of low intensity work into a 1 year of high intensity work and achieve your 10 years goal in 1 year. And that's exactly what happens over here. People work really hard. People put in extra hours. People don't take break. People don't take week off. And eventually they end up delivering more. And eventually they get ahead of others. It's a choice.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone has to get into it. Everyone has to jump into it, but it's a choice. Elon Musk chose to work extra and he's today a billionaire. Right.
Makes sense,
So
yeah.
so similarly, if you see about Whitehat, why Whitehat is different than any other company who have started at the same time, and Whitehat has been successful in 2 years. It has become $300 million company. How? It has because every person working over here are passionate towards fast growth. They need everything faster. For that, whatever it takes, it's not about like chilling out, work-life balance. We understand, we know, what we do is we make our family understand that this is also important so that we have a better life in future, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about understanding and it's all about giving priority, right? So that's how today Whitehat, from 18-member family to 12,000 member in just a matter of 2 years. It's not a joke, right? You
Yeah.
don't just become such big overnight just like that. People have put in hard work day and night. I could see Karan sir used to sit at office till 3 a.m. in the morning, discussing with some couple of pizzas ordered, making us sit beside him and discussing, ideas, what to do, what can we do. Thomas, you tell me what to do here. That's how we've grown. We still have that culture. We still have that startup burning culture to grow faster. And probably that's why today a person can become VP in 2 years, and it's like 20 years spent here. That's how it is.
And those are some really interesting insights. Not only just in Whitehat, wherever you do manage to apply it, you will grow. There's no doubt about it.
So Elon Musk and Karan Bajaj are kind of,
Two people
my
you really look up
motivation.
to. Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
get it.
love the kind of a passion they have towards their work. Of course, not everyone is so mad about work. I understand. It's, again, I'm not trying to generalize, but
Yeah.
whomsoever is mad and his or her first love is work, you'll see them successful. That's for sure.
Whitehat had a huge controversy and all, and a lot of people just started talking ill about Whitehat and all that stuff. So, what was your whole take about that whole situation?
See, I would say probably I don't know if I'm allowed to talk, but my perception is, right, people will talk eventually. See, if people are not talking, it means you're not doing anything, basically, right?
Yeah.
Every successful business, be it any company, be it Pepsi, be it Apple, you cannot make people happy 100%. That's for sure. Secondly, my belief is that I'm not selling a fake product. I believe that I have never snatched away any customer's money. The moment customer complains, we refund immediately. Till date, there's no record of holding on to anybody's money, right? Illogically, right? So till the time we're not cheating a customer, we cannot be termed as a bad company. And if we were to be bad, we wouldn't have survived till now, basically, right?
Yeah.
So there are so many people attached. There are so many big people. So when I say big people, I mean there's so many experienced people from Microsoft, from Intel, from Amazon, from Facebook. People have come, left their jobs, and working with us. They must not be fooled to join Whitehat, leaving their big jobs, right? Those glamorous jobs, right? Right.
Yeah.
So today, the Ola operations head, Ankur Niyati, is the CEO of the company. He wouldn't have left a job and, for a startup which is defamed or something, right? So, see, I mean, it's social media and people have rights to comments. We have made mistakes. Obviously, we have learned. See, it's just 2 years old. We were still learning. We didn't know what is correct, what is wrong. We were learning from our mistake and we have corrected ourselves. Whitehat has never cheated with any customer. Any customer claim for anything, we have always acknowledged. We have tried to sort out the problem wherever possible, and wherever required, we have refunded the money. We have never cheated on the customer. So till the time you have not cheated on the customer, you're not a bad company. That's what I would say, right? People will talk. We help less about it, right? So a percentage of people will talk, but there are good number of good percentage of customers and teachers talking good about us. There are a lot of values that has been added. There are children. So what excited me as a salesperson, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I was a technical person, and I was into a classroom auditing that what's going on in the class, because there was always a technical problem in the class. So I barged into the class and I was sitting there and I was seeing what exactly teacher teaches the kid. A child of 6 year old created an application where there is a cartoon dances on Justin Bieber's song. I don't remember that song, but it was amazing to see a 6 year old child creating such kind of an application that dances on Justin Bieber's song. And I never got to learn
This is this.
play cricket or something with my friends, and I
Yeah.
never got to learn at such a young age.
Hmm.
The child is able to create something unique like that. So think of the kind of possibilities in future for the child, how
Yeah.
sharp the mind would be. And you know how technology is taking over everything right now, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think we're selling something wrong. I don't think we are faking our product. We make mistake, and the things that we have, see, we were growing, we grown so fast. We were still implementing a lot of quality control process, and eventually we end up making errors, we end up saying something wrong. But we have always acknowledged our mistake, and the biggest part is that we have acknowledged and we have corrected ourselves, and our customers are happy now. So
That's
that's
great.
all it matters. Otherwise the company would have shut by now.
Yeah. All right. I
Yeah.
guess we are very close to the end of the show. So, uh, where the viewers who are really interested in following you and following your thought process, whatever you post online, where can they find you online? Where should they reach out to you?
I'm available in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, everywhere possible, right?
All right.
Probably LinkedIn is the place to connect, right? Probably
Mm-hmm.
that's what I prefer. So
All
yeah,
right. So you
and
prefer
otherwise,
people connecting through LinkedIn. That's great. Thanks a lot, Thomas, for coming onto the show. This was an amazing conversation. Hope you enjoyed this too. Thanks for this.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nishant, for giving me an opportunity to talk in front of such a big crowd, right? Such a big platform, right? And I'm really happy that you are doing something of your love, right? And this is exactly what we should all aim for, right? Initially, we should definitely try out. We should not disrespect jobs just because we love something else, but we can always parallelly work upon, and we can grow accordingly, right? So
Yeah.
congratulations for this particular platform, right? I hope you
Thanks a
do
lot.
well, and
Thanks a lot.
wish you a lot of success, right? Thank you so
Thanks a
much
lot,
for
Thomas.
inviting me.